Nataka kuongelea issue ya hii dialogue watu wanaongelea. Sasa wameipatia jina ingine, wameipatia jina mpya Conclave. We started with the cooperation in 1998 with Moi. From cooperation ikakuja Grand Coalition na Kibaki. From Grand Coalition ikakuja handshake with Uhuru. From handshake with Uhuru imekuja bread based with the Ruto. Sasa tuko bread based, hata haijamaliza miezi, we are talking about conclave. The same thing being given different names every year. The same thing changing names every year, but it doesn't bring any change in Kenya. Yani hii handshake tunaipatianga tu majina tangu 1990s. Handshake inapewanga tu majina tofauti tofauti. Sasa hizi tunataka tubadilishe handshake jina from bread based to eat a conclave. Just changing the name of the handshake, yet it doesn't bring any change in Kenya. People just sit somewhere. Hii NADCO watu walikaa Bomas, I think for 120 days. It has not brought any change in Kenya. Now we want to change the bread based and give it another name, conclave. Conclave. What I want to say is this. Wamesema ni intergenerational dialogue. Intergenerational dialogue. What I want to say is this. There is no generational war in Kenya. There is no generational conflict in Kenya. Hakuna vita ya kizazi hapa Kenya. There is no generational conflict, so that we need a generational dialogue. That is trash. There is no generational conflict in Kenya. There is no sectarian conflict in Kenya. There are no communities fighting among each other in Kenya. What we have in Kenya, our problem is bad governance and corruption. Shida yetu hapa Kenya ni bad governance and corruption. Our problem is not intergenerational war, so that we need a handshake or a conclave dialogue. We don't need that. Our problem is not intergenerational war. The Gen Z are not fighting a generation. Gen Zs are not fighting a generation, so that we can have a generational dialogue called the conclave. What people are fighting in Kenya is bad governance and corruption and extrajudicial killing. Let us stop this. Let us stop wasting our time on things that do not add value to Kenyans. Let us stop wasting our time on a dialogue that is inconsequential, that does not change the lives of Kenyans. Let us not waste our time on dialogue. You don't need dialogue to stop extrajudicial killing in Kenya. Kwani Ruto inafaa kae na mtu wafanye dialogue, Ruto asimamishe extrajudicial killing, afanye dialogue asimamishe extrajudicial killing. Ruto inafaa afanye dialogue na mtu, Ruto asimamishe corruption. Ruto inafaa afanye dialogue na mtu ili tukue na good governance hapa Kenya. What we need in Kenya today is full implementation of Constitution 2010. We don't need dialogue to come up with a frivolous MOU, yet we have a good constitution. We want implementation of our constitution. And there are very many other documents gathering dust on our shelves. We have the TJRC report, we have the Numu report, we have the Kriegler report, we have very many other reports, Akiwimi report. Why can't we implement all those things instead of coming dialogue, coming up with another document, then another dialogue, then another document, then another dialogue, then another document? We are wasting our time, resources, and energy. let us implement Constitution 2010. Constitution 2010 has never been fully implemented. It is implemented in bits. Our Constitution is implemented in bits. That's why we are having a problem in this country. For example, Chapter 6 of our Constitution has never been implemented to date. Instead of dialoguing to end corruption, let us implement Chapter 6 of our Constitution, the chapter on ethics and integrity. That is enough. I want to suggest dialogue. They want to waste our time and our resources again. We don't need this dialogue in Kenya. Let us implement Constitution 2010. That is enough. Constitution, the drafters of the Constitution 2010 solved our problems in this country. Constitution 2010 was intended to solve our problems. If Constitution 2010 is implemented, 90% of our problems will be solved. Let us implement Constitution 2010 to end extrajudicial killing. Let us refer to the Constitution 2010. To end corruption, let us refer to Constitution 2010. For us to have good governance, let us be guided by Constitution 2010. We don't need dialogue on that. We don't need. Hatuhitaji dialogue kumaliza hizi shida ambazo tuko nazo. Yetu tuko na katiba mzuri ambayo inatupatia mwelekeo, na hiyo katiba hatujaitekeleza mpaka wa leo. Tumetekeleza katiba yetu kwa matone madogo madogo, in bits, badala ya kuimplement katiba yetu in full. Tukiimplement ya article chapter 6 of our constitution, ambayo ni chapter ethics and integrity, tutadili na ufisadi. Tukiimplement article 43 of our constitution, tutadili na hizi shida watu wako nazo. Hii mambo ya dialogue, watu waache waste time, na mimi nasema hakuna intergenerational war in Kenya. Hakuna intergenerational conflict in Kenya. Gen Zs are not fighting a generation. Gen Z are fighting bad governance. They are fighting corruption. They are fighting extrajudicial killing. They are fighting incompetence. Gen Zs are not fighting a generation. When Ruto is incompetent, when Ruto is not following the Kenyan constitution, it is not a generational issue. It is not a generational issue. So let us stop hiding behind generation. We have a generational dialogue, a conclave. Let us stop behind dialogue. We have always used dialogue in this country to push our problems under the carpet. Dialogue is normally used to seek temporary calm and push our problems under the carpet. Let us stop this dialogue and deal with our problems once and for all. We don't need a dialogue to push our problems under the carpet again. We must face our problems this time round and deal with them once and for all. And to deal with these problems, we must implement Constitution 2010. President Ruto must adhere to the Constitution fully in letter and spirit. He must stop beating around the bush. Because it is due to Ruto's incompetency. 18 companies have left Kenya since Ruto took power. 18 companies, including Kiberenge, including Raila'S. Company 18 zimetoka hapa Kenya, zimehama tangu Ruto achukua uongozi. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu hizo companies zimepata kufanya biashara Kenya ni shida. The cost of doing business in Kenya is too high. The business environment in Kenya is toxic. That is why 18 companies have left Kenya and migrated to neighboring countries since Ruto took power. Ruto atuambia ni kwa nini Raila'S walitoka Kenya? Ni kwa nini Kiberenge walitoka Kenya chini ya uongozi wake, na hizo kampani zingine 18? Ni ajira gani anatengenezea vijana na kampani zinahama Kenya? Kwa sababu ya toxic environment, an environment where policies are unpredictable, taxes are unpredictable for companies, they cannot operate. Na zile companies ambazo bado ziko hapa zina survive kidogo, they have had to scale down even their human resource. so that they can survive. They have had to scale down everything so that they can stay afloat. They are struggling. They are struggling, and most of them will close and go. Under Ruto, we shall not have these companies in Kenya. They will go because the cost of doing business in Kenya is too high. Let us deal with our problems. Hii mambo ya kuleta dialogue, sijui conclave, there is no intergenerational conflict in Kenya so that we can have an intergenerational dialogue. Our problem in Kenya is bad governance, corruption, extrajudicial killing. It has nothing to do with the generations. Gen Zs are not fighting a generation. Gen Zs are fighting bad governance, corruption, and extrajudicial killing. So let us stop this hii mambo ya waste time, conclave dialogues, sijui nini. Jambo lingine mimi nataka niongelee